and Roxanne Lapuyade. Thank you so much for joining us today here on Market Fresh.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, well, I fell in love with your place the minute I went there, and there's just such a great vibe, and if you sit in the right area, you can sort of look at the top of Cerro San Luis or Madonna Mountain, and you can, if it's a nice crystal clear day, you can see people hiking up there, and you've got nice music playing, and you're outdoors, and because of the wall, you don't really hear all the sound of the traffic because that's a pretty busy intersection. It's right where Marsh Street comes off the Marsh Street exit.
My idea for it was that it would be almost like a vacation for your lunch break.
Okay,
somewhere where you get away from it all. My boyfriend has a very green thumb, so he keeps the plants happy. And
in fact, I had a salad there the other day that included some produce from the plants that your boyfriend grows. I think it was a kumquat or something.
Well, we have a kumquat tree in a big wine barrel in the patio that we can pick from sometimes. It's all wiped clean now.
I thought it was a tomato. It looked like, it had been like thinly sliced tomato on my salad. And then I took a couple bites and I'm like, this is citrusy. What is this? Which citrus always works well with a salad.
They add a lovely flavor, that kind of zingy, sour, sweet to it. Kumquats are lovely.
Now, you originally worked as a sous chef up in Paso Robles?
Yes, I did at Thomas Hill Organics.
That's a really well-known spot. That's nice on your resume.
I learned so much at that job. So much. The chef, Julie Simon, right when I started, decided, I'm going to take a year and I'm going to train you to be my sous chef. So I worked all year with her and she challenged me and I really learned a lot there. I don't think I could have opened the cafe without that experience to feel confident that I could do it.
So you found that there was this space available.
I actually, Lisa Patelli, who was the previous owner of Smiling Dog, it was Smiling Dog Cafe, and she sought me out because and I had known her from the past because I had worked at the co-op, and she was a regular customer there. And so she sought me out and asked, hey, do you want this cafe?
Yeah.
And would you take it off my hands? And so I ended up, with the encouragement of my boyfriend, Rob, deciding, okay, I think I can do that. So
how long ago was that?
We had our 2-year anniversary March 1st of this year.
Oh, okay.
So we're just past 2 years now.
Because Anthony, our audio guy, and I went to eat there like a couple of weeks ago. I guess we saw you. And he was talking about the last time he had been there was years ago,
Yeah.
And I said, I think it's a different owner now.
Yeah, there's actually been a few different. There was like a raw foods, completely raw food cafe in there. Then they did like Indian food there for a little while.
Okay.
Then Smiling Dog Cafe with Lisa running it, and now me. So
now, are you a vegetarian restaurant or full vegan?
We are vegetarian. I use eggs and cheese.
Okay.
So. Yeah, but most things I can change, put a little something different on it so that it can be vegan. I'm always happy to accommodate people's special diets.
So I imagine you have seen online, there's the one that I like the most is Google Trends. People are Googling all the time.
Sure, yeah.
And Google sort of keeps that information, and then you can look at a map of the United States or even the world in some cases, and the darker blue, like white, would mean that no one has searched that term, and then as it gets darker blue, and they do from 2004, I think it is, until just last month, they do a kind of like a stop motion thing, and you can watch the search terms for vegan or vegetarian worldwide, and it's like the whole planet just turns blue for the most part, but really, really, really dark on the west coast of the United States and California. So it seems like you've been open for 2 years now. You're sort of striking while the iron's hot.
Yeah, I mean, there were many reasons to have the cafe be vegetarian. It was vegetarian previously. I have a tiny little kitchen, but there's not a lot of it here in town.
No, you have Bliss Cafe, and then what?
I know Big Sky gets a lot of credit for their vegetarian.
Oh, that's
food.
true.
Natural Cafe.
Natural Cafe, yeah.
But So it made sense. And, as a cook, it's fun to be challenged.
Right.
What's going to appeal to people who are used to eating meat in their everyday diet and still come in and feel satisfied and, nourished from vegetarian food, so that it kind of breaks that boundary, so that it's a little more comfortable for people. So,
well, you've done it well, because I have eaten meat most of my life, and I had a white bean burger there that was just super satisfying.
Good.
And then I was mentioning to you during the commercial break that the best sandwich I think I've ever had was this miso sandwich. I didn't even know what to expect. I'm like, a miso sandwich? Okay.
That one puzzles everybody. They're like, I guess I'll get the sandwich.
I had really strong garlic breath the rest of the day, but
I love garlic.
But it was so good. It was just such a great sandwich. It didn't need any meat. Meat would have taken away, I think, from it.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's coming from someone who I really do like meat, but I'm trying to move away from that. So thank God I have a resource like you, to help turn me on to some of these different things. I bought miso at New Frontiers the other day, and I'm like, well, she used it in a sandwich. I'm going to figure out how to use this.
Miso, it's such a versatile food. And that's the thing. It having to seek out new ingredients, try new things to make something feel complete.
Right.
And
so quinoa is good for that. That's something that's really come on the scene recently.
Yeah, quinoa it's considered a grain. It's a seed, but it has a complete protein. It's all the essential amino acids in it. So even though it's not a huge amount of protein, when people think of it in terms of like turkey sandwich or quinoa,
right,
it's still going to have that, some of the protein that you need. And it's very nourishing.
I was told by somebody that if you mix quinoa with now I shouldn't have even started this sentence, but it's like anthem or elithum, or I'm gonna have to look it up during the commercial break, and I'll update people at home. But if you mix those two, it creates a totally perfect protein. And it's a lot like quinoa. It's another seed that people think
amaranth?
of as amaranth. Yes.
Amaranth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. If you mix those two together, that it really combines to just be.
I haven't heard that. There's the rule of thumb with the legumes and and a grain, and generally between the two, you will get a complete protein. But with amaranth, I'm not sure.
Are you inspired at the farmer's market? You probably hit up the different markets in town to see what's in season, because I noticed your menu changes daily.
I'd say maybe once to twice a week at this point it's changing. But with the new produce, I feel like it brings fresh inspiration, like spring and summer coming on.
So when you see something new, what's sparking your interest at the market right now? Is there something that you're like, oh, I love that this is in season?
Asparagus.
Yay! Okay. Yes.
I love asparagus.
Oh, don't we?
It's such a short season.
It's such a short season. It grows so fast. If you know anything about asparagus, it's a really interesting crop. So, well, I just can't wait to be inspired the next time I go to your place. Roxanne Lapuyade, really appreciate having you on the show, and just thank you for the service you provide here in San Luis. It's a much needed vacation from your lunch break.
Thank you very much for having me.